Benefits Act. Mr. Miller, Hamilton East, Stony Creek.
The member for Hamilton East, Stony Creek.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I move second reading of Bill 174, an act to amend the Pension Benefits Act.
Mr. Miller has moved second reading of Bill 174, an act to amend the Pension Benefits Act. Pursuant to Standing Order 98, the member has 12 minutes for his presentation. The member for Hamilton Stony Creek.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I'm here today to speak about my Bill 174, an act to amend the Pension Benefits Act. I'd like to thank the NDP researchers and my staff for all the hard work they've done on this bill. When I was first elected Speaker in 2007, I told the NDP leader that I wanted to take action to protect pensions and to make working life and retirement better for all workers in our province. To achieve that goal, I worked with my colleagues to bring forward an Ontario pension plan that would provide a provincial pension plan similar to the Canada Pension Plan, portable to any employment in Ontario, managed by the public pension plan administrators and protected for life. It was a good idea that the current government has taken and remodeled. But what hasn't yet come to legislation is the protection for those workers whose employer closes up shop and winds down their pension plans. For these retirees, they face a reduction in their retirement income by more than a half in some cases. This is their money, Speaker, taken from their paychecks, money they saved in their company pension plan, money that they will lose in the case of a pension plan being wound down by their employer. Many retirees depend not only on their monthly retirement income, but in some cases the benefit plan that went with their retirement package. Although we cannot legislate continuance of a benefit package, we can legislate better protection of retirees' monthly income. When the government engaged Professor Harry Arthurs to investigate and report on pensions and how we can provide better security for the pension system, one of the things that he recommended was an increase in the Pensions Benefit Guarantee Fund. This fund was created in the 1980s to provide some protection for retirees whose pension plan was wound up. As noted in the Arthur's report, the Pension Benefits Guarantee Fund is funded by a levy on plan sponsors based on per capita premium of $1 per year plus a risk premium that varies according to the level at which the plan is funded. The higher the level of funding, the lower the portion of the premium, to an annual maximum of $4 million. The PBGF benefit formula has not changed, Speaker, in its inception since 1980, while the premium rates were last revised in 1992. The PBGF ensures that in the event of a plan failure, retirees will receive compensation sufficient to bring their pension benefits, subject to some exclusions, up to a maximum of $1,000 per month. Professor Arthurs recommended that the Pension Benefit Guarantee Fund be increased to reflect what the current value of these $1,980 would be, which is $2,500 a month. Speaker, that's why today I'm proud to come before this House to introduce Bill 174, an act to amend the Pension Benefits Act. If enacted, this bill will amend the Pension Benefits Act to raise the amount guaranteed by the Pension Benefits Guarantee Fund from $1,000 to $2,500 a month. And Speaker, even my colleagues down the aisle should be happy to support this bill because, as you know, the Pension Benefit Fund was created by former PC Premier Bill Davis. He realized, as do I, that people work hard all their lives and defer their earnings to a pension plan. The least they should be expect is what it comes to them at the end of their working days. They cannot count on the retirement income that contributed over the decades. What can they count on? Unfortunately, Speaker, this is not the case. As we speak, the pensions of thousands of Ontarians are in jeopardy. At Nortel, we saw thousands of hardworking Ontarians not only lose their retirement savings, but their medical benefits as well. At Stelco, now U.S. Steel, workers and retirees face the same threat in 2015. This is the case for workers and businesses in large and small all across this province and industries. As noted in the Arthur's report, under ill-advised regulations adopted in the 90s to assist Ontario's major private sector employees, plans deemed to be too big to fail were permitted to elect to be relieved of solvency funding requirements in exchange for paying additional PGF premiums to a maximum of $5 million per plan. Retirement security continues to be an issue which keeps families up at night worrying about their financial future. They don't have the sweetheart compensation packages like some of the executives walk away with. Speaker, it's not just my office which hears about this. It's not just a Hamilton issue. Members across all party lines and from across this province receive calls and emails about this issue frequently. Speaker, yesterday I was given a letter by a colleague who received it by a concerned constituent, and it reads, I'm a retired employee. When I retired, the pension plan and the company benefits fund were in a surplus situation. They last reported the fund's condition 3 years ago, announcing a $300 million deficit in the fund. As they have not had to report or contribute to the fund in the last 3 years, I'm worried about the current deficit. The owners of the company are piecemeal selling off assets and not making the requirement investments to upkeep the plan. They recently sold assets and leases which netted them $800 million without making their contribution. Rather than use this money properly, they distributed a $5 dividend to shares worth about $18 at the time. Worse, they've announced that they will probably make another special dividend sometime in 2014 for $4 per share. Speaker, at this single company, 12,000 retired employees and employee spouses will suffer. This constituent ended their letter noting they are appealing to the members of this House to try and get pension plans and benefit fund status when a company goes bankrupt. They asked that I convince the appropriate government people to legislate the elimination of shortfalls in pension plans and protect benefits. Sadly, Speaker, this is the case for tens of thousands of Ontario residents who are either currently relying on their pensions or will be upon retirement. Although the government has proposed an Ontario pension plan, we have yet to see any details. Additionally, I have not heard what commitment it will make to those many retirees who have had their planned retirement income completely upset and may not receive anything near what they have saved or planned for. Speaker, this bill is not just designed to protect single workers and their families, rather it will protect whole communities. Many of our rural and northern communities rely heavily on one single industry or businesses. We've seen entire communities devastated with a plant closure or business closure. This situation is made exponentially worse when the retirees of those same companies are left without their pensions. If people don't get their monthly pension benefits, how can they support their families, let alone their local businesses? I think the answer is quite simple. They cannot, Speaker. Speaker, the Liberal government has had the Arthur's report since October 31st, 2008. Recommendations 6 to 17 of the Arthur's report states that the level of monthly pension benefits eligible for protection by the Pension Benefit Guarantee Fund should be increased to a maximum of $2,500 to reflect the effect of inflation on the original 1980s maximum of $1,000. Speaker, most of the people that are collecting pensions from the 70s and 80s are below the $1,000 mark, and it doesn't help anyone above the $1,000 mark. And that's where 90% of the pensions are today. Additionally, the Arthur's report in 2008 recommended that the superintendent or other agency responsible for the administration of the Pension Benefit Guarantee Fund should recommend to the Minister of Finance within 1 year the following: the formula by which the benefits levels should be determined on an ongoing forward basis, the basis on which the levy paid by sponsors should be calculated, procedures for ensuring that both the benefits and the levy are adjusted at regular intervals, and any other matter relevant to the implementation of the recommendations. So, Speaker, this section of the report concludes that the recommendations should be accompanied by a statement concerning the anticipated effects of any such adjustment, and the Minister should act promptly upon receipt of these recommendations and the accompanying statement. Speaker, that should have happened in 2009. Speaker, it's 2014. And it's been 5.5 years. And you know, Speaker, people in this legislature should be paying attention because we all have retirees, many of them, and we're a growing population of elderly in this province. And we see nothing from the government or the official opposition. Does this government consider the prompt response? Speaker, if we do not act soon, people face the possibility of losing up to 50% of their pensions. As seniors are living together and having less income than ever before, even those with good pensions will not have enough to get by in 20 years. These people built our province, deserve a life with dignity, a retirement of dignity. That's why I'm asking you all in this House to support Bill 174. We can do something in this House to protect the hard-working Ontarians of this province, the seniors of our province, and the working people of our society. Thank you.
Thank you.